And I'm here now with Sherif Foda. He is the Chairman and the CEO of NESR. So when we think about what's going on in the industry, being an oil services company, you're an absolute vital part of this industry. Talk to me about the changes over the last few years. This is a very dynamic industry, and again, your role too. How have things shifted, and what are you doing? What value are you adding?
So obviously you have a lot of changes happen in the last couple of years due mainly to the downturn, I would call. So the oil price went down. There is a lot of, I would say, pressure on our operation, but we managed very well to expand rapidly in the region. The Middle East and North Africa region has been very good for us. We have a very long-term contract with our clients. We introduced a lot of new technology. We introduced a lot of new services. We expanded rapidly, actually, during everybody's contracting. So it was a very good opportunity to add a lot of services in Saudi Arabia, in UAE, in the region. And we managed to do some, what I would say, state-of-the-art operation, like in the unconventional, for example, where we brought the best of both worlds, so the best of the United States, brought it in Saudi Arabia, and we capitalized on the fact that things are a bit slow in the US, so we managed to get the best people, the best equipment, and deployed it here, and we had a fantastic, actually, operation.
So of course all of this took investment, and this was obviously a decision that you as a company made. You are going to invest, you are going to make sure, and it paid off. The expansion, it was what? It was up more than 30% in 1 year. I mean, it was just incredible, some of the work you're doing here. When you look to the future, again, the investment has to be made, but you make this wisely because you're making it, it's a company that has to make profit, but you also have to, have strict environmental standards, and I think also, close to your heart, you have to combine all of this together, really.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think, again, ESG should be part of the business. It's a good business to do, right? So it is not like you have to do it. It's a good business. So you have to be responsible. You have to look at how you contribute to the society, contribute to the environment you are in. And that's how we managed to put the whole entire team understanding and believing that this is our mission. And once you look at the long term, you know that you are here not for a year or two, you are here for a very long term. So you work with the client, you have a very long investment, and I have a very strong and understandable board. So we told them we are going to commit to spending a lot of money when everybody else, again, is actually cutting spending. So we doubled our spend. We spend more than $100 million a year, and only working in one region, that's actually significant. And that's why we are putting the investment not only on equipment and people, but we are building a new R&D center, building the new Spark, building a new infrastructure. So we are here because we believe that this is an industry for 10, 20 years at least. It's going to be very sustainable, and this is where we need to be, and we need to build our infrastructure.
Now, of course, you need to remain competitive in this industry, but also you're very happy to be open about it and actually to make sure that you collaborate and share a lot of the practices and learning. How does this work together?
Yeah, well, it's very unique, again, being only in that region, being very positioned in such a way with the clients, very customer-centric. We opened a bit for the innovation for all the small, independent technology providers. If you look at the IT, and you look at Google, for example, how do they make it? They have a lot of what they call VC, very innovative small guys, that they come up with ideas, and they do not know how to expand those ideas, how to deploy those ideas, and that's what we managed to do, right? So we give them the infrastructure because we are here in the Middle East. We can talk to someone small in Silicon Valley, but has a brilliant idea. We bring them into the region. They do not have to set up here because they come with us. And if we believe that the technology is very unique and fit for purpose, we actually invest in the company. We give them money, and they deploy what they have in that region. So it's a very different way of looking at the technology than everybody else.
What would you say are the biggest challenges for the oil and gas sector, in the short term, to make sure they get into the long term?
I think the short term, the biggest hurdle is the investment community today is only 3 to 5%. So if you look at the energy, it used to be 8 to 9%. Now, because the returns is not what they expect, the IT, the technology, everything else, we are actually, if you look at the equity market, the Dow Jones today is almost 29,000. And if you look at the last 2 years, the energy has been at the bottom of the investment from an equity point of view. So we have to show the investment community that we can return money the returns to what they invest. So they start to investment to come in again into the energy sector. And to do that, we need to show as well the sustainability. How are we responsible? We are providing a lot. You are providing all this prosperity to the world, but you have to completely change the narrative, completely change the messaging we do as an industry to the community, to the investment community. Otherwise, they will not invest in us, and then the industry will have a lot of challenge. So we need to change that in the next couple of years.
And here we are in Saudi Arabia, the first time IPTC has been here. It's been a tremendous show. It's busy, a lot of great conversation, a lot of great input, a lot of knowledge sharing, a lot of great, I'm looking at the stands, there's lots of new technology, everything. How important is it this is here?
I think Saudi Arabia is definitely the pioneer of the energy worldwide. It is, and it is not just the pioneer because of their production. It's the pioneer because everything they do. If you look at 10 decades ago, and you look at the reservoir management group in Saudi Aramco, is unique. Is best in class worldwide, and they look at the reservoir again for the long term, because it's not a short term, it's a very long term. What is the return? How can I be sustainable on my energy? This reserves I have, it's going to last for decades and hundreds of years, right? So because of this mentality, everything they do, and it's reflected into it. It's a long term. So if you look at this IPTC, it's phenomenal. Why? Because people are here for long term. The client is long term, the people are long term, so they want to invest how to make sure that all what you do is not for tomorrow or not for the quarter, not for the 2 years, it's for the next 50 years. And it's reflected in the attitude, it's reflected in the investment, it's reflected in this IPTC. And you look at the stands, you look at the quality, you look at the people there, it's best in class. And it's really congratulations to them, and I think it is the best place to have the IPTC.